Now this morning is Congressman Brad Schneider. Congressman, good to see you again. Thanks for joining me.
It's so good to see you, Paul. Hope you're well and had a good holiday.
Yeah, you as well. Let's start with the news of the week. The DNC is coming to Chicago. Now, obviously, a lot of people are talking about how great this is going to be for the city and tourism and showing it off. Politically speaking, though, what does this mean? What do we get if this, had been somewhere else? How does this help Chicago politically?
Well, first, it's great for the city. And I think it's a reflection of what a wonderful city Chicago is and what an important role we have played in democratic politics throughout history. I think this is the 11th time the convention has come to Chicago in the history of the convention. We have a lot to offer. We have access to lodging, to great entertainment and dining. We've got large convention center space. So this is a perfect place to have the convention from a logistics standpoint. But I think also from the historic impact or significance of Chicago and the role we play in the country. The success for the Democratic Party, both at the presidential level, but I think taking back the House, retaining the Senate, is going to go through the Midwest. And so being here in the heart of the Midwest is a wonderful move by the DNC.
Yeah, and indeed, Senator Tammy Duckworth has talked about rebuilding the blue wall to assist. Maybe that will assist. Let's go to some of the issues you are attempting to deal with on Capitol Hill. Gun reform, obviously another 12 Americans dead after mass shootings in Louisville and Nashville. You represent Highland Park. I don't need to talk about the impact on Highland Park and what they've gone through. President Biden has said, look, dude, I've done everything I can do from an executive perspective. What's Congress going to do?
Well, Congress needs to act. The country needs to act. We are seeing far too many deaths, not just in the mass shootings, but every day there are stories of shootings in communities across this country. Every day, children are going on lockdown in their schools, fearful of what might happen in the basic fundamental responsibility of we have to our kids of giving them a quality education. In addition to the A, B, and C's, we're teaching them how to run, hide, fight. That's just not what we should. That's not what we should be hoping for our kids. Congress has taken action. We passed a bipartisan bill last summer, Safer Communities Act, but the House has passed legislation the last couple of terms, such as universal background checks, trying to close various loopholes, banning assault weapons, banning these high-capacity magazines, making it harder for people who shouldn't have guns to get guns while respecting the rights of law-abiding citizens. We can address these issues if we come together, work together, and make sure we're putting our kids first, our community safety at the top priority, and taking common sense action to reduce gun violence in this country.
We'll see if there could be a bipartisan effort there going forward. Let me also ask you about abortion, back in the national spotlight ever since the Dobbs case overruled Roe. But now we're seeing issues with regard to medications involved, being pulled off the market, that kind of thing. But the question I have for you is this. The whole idea behind the Dobbs case was the states must decide. And right. Now we're getting bubbling up on the federal level of we need a federal 15-week ban. We need maybe we need a 20-week ban. What is your sense of the Supreme Court saying let the states decide, but Congress seems to be saying, no, I think we'll step in here?
There was always that insincerity among the anti-choice advocates saying we just want the states to decide. It's a process argument. They want a national ban on abortion. They want to take away the right of a woman to make her own choices about her own body, to make these healthcare decisions in the privacy of consultations with their physicians and their doctors. And we're seeing that come to play now. We're seeing it in the actions they're taking, like the court case, jurisdiction shopping to find that judge in Texas to get a ruling that I think was just horrible on Prestone, but also what they're trying to do. Governor DeSantis signing a bill yesterday into law that would prohibit abortions after 6 weeks before most women know they're pregnant. It's a fundamental principle. It should be every woman's right to make her own decisions about her body, every family's right to make their own decisions about when to have a child. This is something that the federal government, that government in general, shouldn't be involved in. We should be working very hard to make abortions safe, legal, and rare. Same formula that President Clinton talked about a generation ago. Sadly, with the efforts of the anti-choice movement, we're taking steps backwards, not forwards.
Obviously, as a congressman, you are concerned about these national issues, but let's bring it home for a bit, because that's certainly a concern of yours as well, representing your district. Lead pipelines, long-time promises from Mayor Lightfoot and others, we're going to fix this. Hasn't really happened, but you're bringing home some federal money to maybe move this along?
Yeah, no, it's starting to happen. There's close to 10 million lead pipelines or lead piped into homes across the country. We've been leading an effort trying to convince the EPA that the money that the federal government allocated, we're talking about $6 billion, not an insignificant amount of money, that money should be allocated to states, not based on population, but based on need. We were successful in that. They announced that ruling recently. And so Illinois is going to get their fair share of these federal dollars of $6.5 billion. And you're going to start seeing actions being taken in local communities, Chicago, Waukegan in my district, other places where there's high concentration lead pipes. We're going to start seeing those pipes taken out of people's homes, and everyone in this country should know the water they drink is safe and healthy, and these families will have the confidence that their kids are drinking safe, healthy water.
And Mayor-elect says this is something that is a priority for him, so we'll see how quickly it moves in Chicago. You've also been involved in ethylene oxide as part of a bipartisan effort leading to new rules. Tell people who don't understand that why they should care.
Yeah, we should all care. Ethylene oxide is a industrial chemical used for a number of things, making of antifreeze for our cars, but also it is used in sterilization of medical products for hospitals, doctors' offices, etc. It's an important chemical, but it needs to be used in a safe, constrained way. In 2016, the EPA moved it from a possible carcinogen to a known carcinogen. And we've been arguing since then that they need to have clear rules of how this chemical will be used, especially in 2018, when it was identified that there were facilities in Illinois, including in my district, that were using ethylene oxide. We've been saying we need to know that ethylene oxide is being used in a safe way, safe for the workers inside the facilities, but also safe for the community outside. And the concern outside are emissions, emissions from the processes that are being used, but also what's called fugitive emissions that are not intended or not controlled, rather, that get out. So what the ruling from the EPA says, we're going to increase monitoring. We're going to increase the requirements on these users of ethylene oxide. I still am going to advocate we need fence line monitoring, so we know that the air around the facility is clean, the air that the community is breathing is clean. But this was a great step from the EPA. I'm grateful for the task force we formed a few years ago, working with the EPA to get this done.
Congressman Brad Schneider, thanks for your time on this Sunday morning. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too. Take care.